Hey folks, so it's Regina Campbell coming back to you all with another video. Hope everyone is doing great and things are just falling into place for you all, or you all are figuring out how to maneuver through your different situations in life. I'm coming to you all more so with a encouraging video, hopefully this time around. And it's simply going to be a video on how I choose to love myself, how I have been personally practicing on loving myself as an individual, because that is so terribly important. This video is probably directed more towards women, but it's very important for both men and women to love themselves, and for men to look at videos like this so they can kind of get an idea of where women come from and their needs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So let's just be honest. Women, we go through a lot. We are just like this little we are so compact and we're so intricate because we do so much. We give life. We think on things with our feelings and emotions. We are detailed. We like to talk about things. We go through different emotions. We have cycles that take us through ups and downs every month. And there's just a lot of different things that we juggle. And we may not realize that those things do get overwhelming because we are so busy being, I don't know, superwoman. But anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and share some things that I do to love myself. You have to stop and you have to love yourself in order to be able to give and love other people, because that's what we do a lot. We take care of our families, we take care of our kids. We're also career women. I mean, we have a lot going on here. The first thing that I want to talk about is physical, because we have to remember that we as human beings, we are holistic, meaning we operate from mind, body, and spirit. We cannot separate them because they are interlocked and they work together. So I'm just going to go through those different areas and tell you all how I take care of myself in those different areas. Now, for my physical health, I try to create a routine every day that I stick to. I believe in health. I believe in taking care of your body because I believe that that matters. A lot of people say, well, why not just go ahead and enjoy the things that you love? But it's okay to enjoy yourself from time to time, but we have to remember balance and we have to remember moderation. Your body is not, even though you may like eating sweets or maybe snacks on a daily basis, your body is not going to like it. And that's just the reality of the situation. So unless it's a special occasion, or unless I'm going on vacation, or it's a holiday, I try to maintain a balanced diet. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I either do one of the three. I will either drink lemon water, I will either eat a grapefruit, or I will go ahead and drink Metamucil, mix it in some water. And I'll tell you why it's either these three things, because these three things cleanse the body. The first thing I'm doing in the morning is any repair work that my body has done throughout the night or done throughout the week. I want to go ahead and help my body go ahead and clear that out. So lemon is very it's alkaline, so it's going to go ahead and it's going to clear your body out, and plus you're hydrating at the same time, and water is going to go through your system and go ahead and clear and cleanse. It detoxes your body. Also, grapefruit does the same thing. It's full of antioxidants. It's very astringent, and it also stimulates the bowels first off in the morning. So if you're not a huge coffee drinker, grapefruit may be a great option for going ahead and getting your digestive juices and your insides going first off in the morning. Metamucil, the same reason I go ahead and take that first off in the morning with water, drink it with water. It's a form of hydration, and it's also me going ahead and putting something in my stomach and putting something in my intestines first off in the morning to go ahead and help clear and collect anything that might be sticking along the insides of my intestines, and try to go ahead and get a head start to clear that out, because intestines, you can't be keeping all that stuff locked up in there for long periods of time. We're supposed to be, as human beings, having a bowel movement every single day. Do we not eat every single day? We are supposed to be eliminating, and having those toxins that our body is getting rid of built up in our system is no good. So being able to keep yourself on track in those areas with those three things, those are things that I personally do to keep myself on track. And it works wonders. It keeps me going to the bathroom and it keeps my skin looking great as well. Another physical activity I try to do at least 3 times a week is exercise. If it's not in the gym 3 days a week, then I'm trying to do something outside in my yard that is causing me to work out. Nothing beats having a great workout in fresh air. That's like the best. And you'll get the best sleep at the end of the day. So physical exercise gets your endorphins going, and it also just makes you feel like you want to go ahead and be productive throughout the day. It gets your circulation going. It builds muscle, especially heart muscle. It just makes you feel healthy. It makes you feel well. It's not always about losing weight. We always contribute exercising to losing weight, and that's not all exercise does. And it's a falsehood that only people that are overweight need exercise. That is a lie. Everyone needs to exercise to remain healthy. I try to maintain having a well-balanced diet because we have to understand our mental and emotional. Our brain uses glucose, but it doesn't need too much glucose. It needs vitamins and minerals to work appropriately. Those neurons firing back and forth, that's hormones, that's a lot of different things going on. So we have to make sure that we are putting the appropriate nutrients and minerals, vitamins and minerals in our body to help us maintain emotionally balanced. Those vitamins and minerals do that. So making sure that you have protein, probably not too much carbs because that's going to make you sleepy, and having your fruits and your vegetables, having live enzymes that's going to make you energetic and stimulate your mind and just give you the nutrients that your body needs to operate. Another huge thing that a lot of us are struggling with nowadays, and it's really kind of sad, is we don't get enough rest. You cannot operate emotionally the way you should if you're not getting enough rest. I cannot tell you the times where I have been tired and just haven't been myself and taken like a really good nap or just woke up in the morning and just felt a ton better. That's because your body needs rest. Another great way to take care of yourself physically is to pamper yourself as a woman. Go ahead and take a shower that's a little longer than usual. Use that special body wash that you want to use. If shaving makes you feel a certain type of way, go ahead and take the time to do that. Nice warm baths, bubble baths, anything like that. Like I would, even if you have like a planner, just like set slots aside for when you want to go ahead and pamper yourself. Go get your nails done, give yourself a facial. Anything that makes you feel feminine and pretty and sexy, whatever it may be, go ahead and do that, because that helps us out as women, men too, but helps us out emotionally. So go ahead and do those things as self. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and talk about is spiritual, because when I first wake up in the morning, the first thing I do that I started practicing probably a couple of years ago is giving thanks. First off, when I open my eyes in the morning, thanking God for waking me up, thanking Him for the day, whether it's cloudy outside, whether it's a day that I have to wake up super early. Either way, just thanking Him for the next day and for me being able to be a part of it. So I've given thanks. So now I'm going ahead and I'm reading my devotional that's going to point me towards thinking positive, put my mind in a positive area. Our minds are so powerful, so very powerful that we're not starting on the right foot. That could last for hours, and that's no good. I'm telling you this because I personally experience it from time to time, and I try to avoid it, and I try to put myself in a very positive place first off in the morning, so I can not only put myself in a positive place, but also check myself, like check my spirit. How am I waking up? How am I thinking about life? How am I thinking about myself? How am I thinking about family? How am I thinking about work? Like, you got to check yourself, because those thoughts, when you wake up in the morning, whatever, after you've dreamed, those thoughts start trickling in your head right away. But that's a whole nother video. Not only do I go ahead and I read my devotional, I will go ahead and meditate on what I've read, because any one of us can sit down. I'm that type of person where my mind can start trailing. So what I'll go ahead and do is I will meditate on what I have read. So meaning reading it over and over again, asking myself, how does this particular passage or what this person has written, how does that apply to my life? And am I taking action in these areas of my life? Meditating on things help us to remember, because a lot of times when we start off positive on a positive note, or we read something positive, we forget. We as human beings, we don't remember. We get into a situation at work, or we get into a situation with our family, with our spouse, and everything that we just read goes straight out the window and we forget. But if we take the time to actually meditate on something and pray about it, we have a higher chance of that sticking with us throughout the day and throughout the week. So I go ahead and I meditate on it. And even though I think meditation is a good thing and that's what we should practice as well, this is the type of meditation that I'm talking about. I'm talking about memorization, remembering, reading things over and over again, making sure we get it, making sure that we are applying it to our lives. For me personally, praying is me communicating, and nothing more than that. Me communicating with my Father in heaven, my Creator. I am communicating with Him just like I would a very dear friend, like I would a parent who I can tell anything to. I just let a load out on Him first off in the morning, and I just ask Him to help, give me strength to go throughout my day, because you know what? Life was never promised to be fair to us. Where is that written? We have to go through our day-to-day ups and downs, but how we go about it is what matters. We are allowed to get angry because that is a part of being a human being. We are allowed to be sad. There's nothing wrong with that. But how we act on it, that's what's key. And that's what I pray about first off in the morning. So that's another thing that I do to get my spirit right, get my insights, get my heart, get my thinking straight. Another thing that's super helpful for your spiritual health is listening to people's testimonies, or listening to people's stories, listening to how people in our similar situations got through what they got through. And those stories are uplifting. That's why I get on here, because I want people to understand that you're not alone. We all go through these things as human beings, and there's no sense in sitting there and just pushing things under the rug or acting like things are okay, when all of us are dealing with similar situations that we have to talk about and we have to strengthen each other with. So talking to someone who has been through something that you're going through, or just having them just share a really good story, someone that's like-minded, someone that's positive, that helps uplift your spirit. We as human beings, we are here to uplift each other. We are here to be interdependent. The next point I want to go ahead and focus on is our mental. I have been talking about mental, but there's a difference between mental and there's a difference between emotions. Women are just naturally emotional, and I do think it stems from hormones. I won't go too deep into that because I am not a person that specializes in those things, but I do know that we are naturally more emotional. There are men that are more emotional than some other men, and there are some women that are more emotional than some other women. I would say I'm probably somewhere in the middle, but I can get pretty emotional, and that stems from hormone fluctuations. And the better that we as women understand that our hormones affect us, then the better that we are. But mental is a whole different thing. Mental is everyone on a whole. Mental is building muscle in our mind, because just like anything else, when we're practicing positivity and we are disciplining ourselves in a certain area, we're strengthening our minds. We're strengthening our minds against negative thoughts and attacks that come on our minds. Yes, everyone's mind is attacked. The mind is the battleground, because the mind, it is the engine of the whole body. Yeah, the heart is really important too, but it's up here is what fuels us, and where we make our decisions, where we choose to do right and wrong. And we have control over that. We have been given the power, and we have been given the authority by God to have control over our thoughts and make different choices. We have that freedom of choice. So it's very important that we focus on disciplining ourselves in that area. Like I mentioned, one of the first things when it comes to mental health, I do believe, and sustaining that, is to maintain discipline. And this will be another video, but one of the areas that I have recently incorporated in my life to continue to practice discipline is getting a planner for myself. That way I am holding myself accountable for things I have set down and I have written. You can't argue with yourself. Other people can tell you certain things, but how are you going to argue with yourself when it's your handwriting and what you've written down there? Another thing that helps the mental, I believe, is actually reading. Reading, taking in information, not just looking at the TV or just watching YouTube. Going ahead and reading, or just learning something new, or practicing a new recipe. Doing something that's going to help with your memorizational skills. Those things also help the mental, or help our minds. Another way to help in our mental, I believe, is what I was mentioning early, is meditation. But this is the other type of meditation, and this type of meditation is actually taking time, even if it's like 10 minutes in your day, to just relax, be quiet, don't do anything, not really concentrating on really thinking of what we have to do. Just kind of allowing the peace to relax us. The best place to do this is outside in nature, because we are a part of nature. There's just something about it that helps soothe the mind. Being out in the natural wind, having it blow up against your face, hearing the birds, hearing the rustle of the trees, nothing can beat it. Another one is taking time to reflect. We need to take time to reflect on ourselves. Take the time to reflect on actually what you're doing. Are we actually being productive, or are we just being busybodies? One of my favorites with maintaining mental health, and the things that I do when I am under attack in my mind, and when I've got a flood, the thoughts that are run through our minds are negative, and they are lies. They are lies to put us down, so that we're not living our best life, so we're not productive, so we're not doing what we need to do. So when we get those thoughts in our minds, we need to think about what is the truth. What is a lie and what is the truth? Because a lot of the times we will start believing the lie, not even knowing it, meaning believing those negative thoughts that come into our mind. We were not meant to be living a negative life. We are supposed to be living a full life, a life that's full of joy. Not only focusing on what is true, but focusing on what is realistic. We live in the day of social media, and social media, unfortunately, people are living a life that they wish that was actually happening, when in reality that life is not occurring. And then other people believe that's the life they're living. So it's almost like we are continuously living in a fantasy. It's a relief sometimes to come back down to earth, especially in while we are reflecting, to reflect on what is actually reality, what is actually happening right here and now, and what I should be doing right here and right now in this moment, in this hour. It doesn't hurt to dream or whatnot, but sometimes I feel like we get so caught up in these dreams that we don't realize that that might not even be the direction that our life is going at all. So it's really important to be realistic about things and take things one step at a time. How do I take care of myself emotionally? Well, I already mentioned one, I pray. And my belief is that we are supposed to pray continuously. So maybe I should go ahead and substitute the word pray with having a conversation. I believe in having many conversations with my Father throughout the day because I feel like He is ever present and He is ever near me. So whenever I'm feeling like I'm in a tough situation, or whenever I'm feeling super happy, or if it's just about anything, since I know that He is there, then I'm going to talk to Him. That doesn't mean that I might not necessarily say anything out loud, but in my mind, because I believe that He is there, then I will talk to Him. Just think, if you had a friend that was going with you throughout the day, or you saw him throughout the day, would you acknowledge that friend? One huge thing with me to deal with my emotions is to go ahead and write them out, because a lot of times there's like a jumble in my head going on, and if you sit down and you just write it all out, just how it comes, write it all out, and then maybe later go back and read later, that's really helpful, because you can kind of see where you're at as a person. Don't read it right after you write it. Wait a while and come back and read it, and you might be really surprised of what you think about yourself. And it's not to put yourself down so many times. It's either times you're like, wow, I wrote that, or I was thinking it that way, and how am I feeling now? It really lets you know how emotions play a huge part in your life. It really, really does. It's crazy. Another one is listening to music, listening to positive music, of course. I do believe that we have to be discerning when it comes to music, because music, honestly, it can make or break you. Music, I personally like listening to gospel, and I like listening to rhythm and blues, but I have to be discerning what I listen to, and I have to be discerning when I listen to. I'm not huge on listening to romantic or rhythm and blues of anything of that nature when I've just broken up with someone. I'm usually really not in the mood. It has to be really specific. So I like to try to listen to something neutral, something that is uplifting, but also very positive and calming to my spirit. You don't want to listen to something that's going to cause you to have more animosity towards the person that you've broken up with. It's a little natural to be angry in the beginning, but as time goes on, things are going to come to you that is going to make you realize that. Another thing to do emotionally is, if you have that person that you can really trust, which is unfortunately really hard to find nowadays, but someone who's been in your life for a while is who I would suggest that you've gone to before with things. And you may not have many people you can do this with. A lot of times it's a person's family member that they can go and talk to, and just communicate. Go ahead and vent on some things that's really been bothering your soul, and just to get it out and talk. And hopefully that person is a good listener. A lot of times we just need people to listen. Sometimes people aren't writers, people are talkers, and that's how they get out what they need to say, and that's how they organize their thoughts and their emotions and realize how they feel. I love the feeling some sort of way, because that statement is so true. Sometimes we really don't know how we're feeling. We just know that we're feeling some type of way, and we're feeling a lot of different emotions at one time. The next thing I do to take care of myself is to make sure that I am social. I am one of those people that even though I'm talking here on YouTube, I'm talking to a camera. I can do pretty well without someone always being around me. I'm that type of person. I'm more so of an introvert, but needless to say, I do need to socialize with other people and I do like being around other people. I don't know if you all remember the Sims game where the Sims had little bars and some of them they could keep their social up longer than others. Well, for me, I don't need social all the time. A lot of times being around a lot of people and a lot going on. One time is really draining for me. But if I have that one-on-one conversation with someone or I go to an event every now and then, that's usually what I need. But it's important to be able to do that to love myself and make sure that I am maintaining a balanced lifestyle. It's not only important to be in a social atmosphere with just lots of different people, it really helps uplift who you are and helps propel you on your way when you are around like-minded people or people who you aspire to be like. And it makes a difference because the people that we are around, it does rub off on us, and we want to be around positive people that's going to help sustain joy in our lives and help us be productive and help us to be the best people that we want to be. I personally believe and recommend to pray for those people to come into your life, because we can think that a best friend is coming into our life because we have like all these things in common, and it might actually be an enemy. So I actually pray to discern which people to hang out with. And these are the things that I am practicing and I've learned in my life now, to be discerning on who to treat as an acquaintance and who to get to know better as a friend. I do believe that we don't necessarily have to avoid everyone, but we have to be discerning in who we share certain things with. We have to be discerning who we spend our time with. Everything in life takes effort. It's not a rubric that we go by. We have to use discernment. So those are some of the things that I do to love myself. And there's other little things that I will do. Say, for instance, like I might go on a little shopping trip with either my family or friends, or even by myself, and buy myself a little something. Those things I enjoy as well, just to celebrate for the hard-earned money that I have. But I also have realized how important it is to also not overindulge in that area. I have realized at this point in time how important it is to practice balance. So just as important as it is to buy myself a little something, it is also very important to budget. And that as well makes you feel really great when you are successful in that area. It's all about balance, folks. So at the end of this video, I just want to go ahead and share with you all some last thoughts. And these are the thoughts that I try to practice myself. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but I try to remember to spend time with the ones that I love, because we don't know how long we'll be here or how long they will be here, or if you're in a situation in time where you might not be around them. So spend time with the ones that you love. Be yourself. Be yourself. Because that's how you're going to attract the people that are supposed to be in your life, for one reason. And at the end of the day, when you are yourself, it just feels better. Choose your battles. We don't have to fight about everything. Some things we have to let go. And in my case, we have to let God fight our battles. We don't have to pop off at everything, because in the end, it might just end up injuring us more so than helping us. At the same time, I do believe that we should take the time to think through how to stand up for ourselves. But popping off, getting angry, cussing someone out is usually not very beneficial. At least not personally for me. I just end up feeling bad about it later on. And the last thing I want to go ahead and end with is what I had said before, is to dwell on truth. dwell on truth, dwell on positivity, and continue to move forward and love yourself unconditionally. When things go south, get yourself back up on your feet and try again. Try again. And you'll just get stronger, even if you're not noticing it. I'll talk to you all later because it's been like forever. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.